So we'll be talking in this session more about what are the future prospects of AI and ML, and in the next 5 to 10 years, what will be the new jobs will come and how they will be transforming the entire job market in the next 5 to 10 years. Apart from that, we'll be also discussing some core skills which is required when we are thinking to build our career in AI and ML. So let's start today's session. So in this session, we'll be first give our introduction, what we do basically in our company and what are our core skills. Then we'll move towards future prospects of AI and ML and what are its implication impact in the job market in next 5 to 10 years. Then we'll be discussing more in terms of general terms, what is the applications of AI in different industries. Next, we'll be covering more about key skills required, what are the roadmaps for building your career in AI ML, and in the end, we'll be taking some of the questions from your side. So, first of all, I'm Manu Siddharth. I'm a senior data scientist in Center of Excellence in Atos, and we used to build mostly natural language processing solutions, in which we'll be building some advanced transformers. We'll be using advanced transformer like BERT, GPT, and all these. And apart from that, we also build mostly on text analytics, where we use OCR for text extraction from different sources of the data. We also used to work in computer vision projects. We also build some of the knowledge graphs, which are more interpretable in terms of AI models, how they are interpreting, how they are predicting something. And recently, we have also done one project in audio analytics, in which we have built some of the interesting models on speech analytics and how they are transforming the call center agency. Over to Avesh.
Hey, hi guys. So this is Avish. I work with Manu in the same team, right? And as discussed, we've worked on NLP, OCR, computer vision, knowledge graph, and other projects, right? So yeah, Manu, should I continue or will you be taking this ahead?
Yeah, you can continue. No issues.
Right. Let me. Can you proceed with the slide?
Oh, or if you want, you can share also.
Okay. Give me a minute. Just a minute, guys. I need to log in. Manu, I'm having some issues. Can you share, please?
I'm sharing.
Can you proceed? Yeah. Right. So right. So we are here to discuss what the future of AI looks like, right? So right now in this slide, you can see there are 20 million jobs that would be added in the year 2025, right? So from the year, as we have seen, the trend continues from the year 2020, right? And it's 2022 right now. So the upsurge of the interest in AI and data science, right? It's been increasing exponentially, right? So yeah. Now I'll be talking about the applications of AI and ML, right? So,
one more point here. Some of the key job roles which are more prevalent in apart from Indian country, right? Like machine learning engineers or ML ops engineers or maybe DevOps engineers. These roles were not much visible in maybe before 2020. But after 2020, in mostly in 21 and right now in 22, these roles are more visible in India also. And these jobs are increasing day by day, and the amount of jobs are also more than any other domain. You can observe that very well. And as you can see that by 2030, PwC estimates that $15.7 trillion will be generated in global economy, and that will be the contribution of AI into it. Okay, so you can imagine that in the next 5 to 10 years, what will be the impact of AI in the job market and in overall global economy. So yeah, Avesh, you can continue. Application of AI.
Right. Yeah. So coming back to the application of AI, right? We can implement AI in the basically in every sort of business problems that we have right now. So NLP has been sorry, AI has been introduced in via NLP through businesses that require text processing. Right, it has been introduced to autonomous cars via computer vision, and there are other machine learning use cases where normal machine learning algorithms are being used to solve different type of business problems. We'll also be discussing a case study at the end of our session, right? Where we have encountered a contact center problem using NLP as well as audio analysis.
So here we'll be more focusing towards what are the overall general applications of AI. Right? So there are three basic things which we are seeing. First is sense, second is comprehend, and the last one is act. So sense means what we can sense, and based on that, what are the technologies present in artificial intelligence. So first one is computer vision, that is more towards the vision power of the AI. That is more if we give bunch of images or videos and we train some deep learning algorithms over it. So it learns the pattern from the images and videos and predict which image belongs to which, like cat and dog. We already know that these types of basic projects. But apart from that, these things are very much important when we go into a specific domain of the projects, like in manufacturing or one of the case study I have encountered, which is the actual project actually, in which there is a electric company in US, and in that there is a major problem that the electric poles are covered with some leaves or some obstructions, and this creates huge wildfires in outer sides of the United States or the more remote sites. So there they came to a problem that how we can solve it. So they have already some drones which takes real-time images of the electric poles and gives to their backend team, and usually they do it manually, analyze it manually, and send their electricians to repair the electric poles. So when we got this problem, we analyzed that what technologies we can apply so that we can automate this process and improve the or reduce the wildfires. Okay, so in this case we have used two techniques, that is object detection and uh, image classification, right? So object detection here comes in the sense, and that is also a computer vision part, in which we detected whether a particular electric pole present in that image or not. If it is present, then if it is covered with leaves or obstructions or not, right? So in that way, we have created or developed one deep learning model, and we integrated that model into that drone. So in the real time, the drone was sending the backend team a signal that which electric poles on or on what port of the electric poles are obstructed, so that they can send their electrician teams into that to that electric pole area in the location, so that it can be solved. So you can imagine what is the impact of AI in real terms in our day-to-day life, and how they are solving real-time business problems. Similarly, there is audio processing. So this is something which we can sense, audio which we can listen, computer vision which we can see. Similarly, there is another category which is comprehend, which we can comprehend based on the text. So that is more about natural language processing and knowledge representation. Natural language processing is more towards understanding the language, the natural language, human language. And knowledge representation is that everything is given to you in the form of knowledge. So how you will explain to the humans that it is interrelated or correlated in the form of graphs or in the form of decision trees. Okay, so that you can correlate what things are interrelated. And the third one is act. That is more about your act in terms of data. So you have lots of huge amount of historical data. You will the model will learn the patterns from the data, and then predict that what will going to happen based on those data points. Okay, so nothing new is happening here. Only what we are doing is we are giving historical data, so that will able to make the machine understand what is the actual pattern involved in it, so that they can understand and predict. So these are the three basic classifications, or you can say the three categories of AI right now. And if we see the applications in more general terms, that is cognitive robotics, that is more towards computer vision, where we are giving more sensual feelings to the robots. Like Sophie, you already know that it is a more uh, human type of robot, which can talk with you in a more human language, natural language. It can sense also, some of the time it can also crack. So you can imagine what's the level of cognitive robotics now. Speech analytics, that is more towards understanding your voice and then taking action based on that. Next comes the virtual agents, which are one more step of, or you can say more advanced form of chatbots. Okay, which are more than chatbots, which can understand and act accordingly. And then diagnosing medical disease. This is more towards related to knowledge representation, in the sense we have lots of information, but we are not able to uh, tell that how this person is suffering from, let's say, brain cancer. Okay, we have certain types of tests. So what tests are actually related to, so that we can diagnose that it is a brain cancer. Okay. And in terms of machine learning and expert system, we can say that anomaly detection, where some of the anomalies which generally comes in the data. Okay, like there's a one manufacturing system. There is also one real-time example. There is a one manufacturing system, glass manufacturing company, which used to produce or manufacture glasses. But sometimes what happened that due to some of the issues in the machinery, or some of the default fault settings, which makes it uh, totally waste product. Okay, so let's say if we have a batch of 1,000 glasses, and if due to some malfunction of 15 or 20 glasses waste, then it will be a huge loss to a glass company in terms of monetary terms. Okay, so the reason is we need to understand what are the data points which are responsible for creating such type of faults. Okay, so and in such type of situation, we will be building anomaly detection model, in which we'll analyze huge bunch of data, analyze what are the anomaly points which can happen in certain condition, in certain settings. And if we are able to predict those settings, then we can forecast that what will be the anomalies that will going to happen. Okay. So that will also uh, help manufacturing companies in improving their whole process. And next is the recommendation system that we all know right now. There are many e-commerce companies which are using recommendation system like Amazon, Flipkart. We already know that, and more advanced level of recommendation systems are coming in forms of image search. Right? If you just upload the image, it will give you results based on the image which you are uploaded. So these are the more core applications of AI which we usually see in our day-to-day lives. Next, if we talk about key roles in AI project, so I'll talk about two roles, that is more towards data analyst and data scientist. And then Avesh will more talk about DevOps, ML Ops, and ML engineering. So whenever we get any project, so there are some key person involved which have their own duties, jobs, responsibilities that they need to do, and that is very important in every respect. Like a data analyst. So when we get any business problem, so we need to analyze a core data. That is the main crux of any business problem. And there comes the role of data analyst, which analyze the data, each and every aspect of it. And there also comes the role of data engineer. I've not written it because these are not, data engineer role is not directly related to AI, but we can say that in the sense that when we get the data, so how the data will be available to data analyst or data scientist. So that is the role of data engineer, which can give the data from the source to the data analyst or data scientist so that they can analyze, make statistical modeling, and then make machine learning model. And after that, then comes the role of machine learning engineer, right? So, so first is the data analyst who analyze the data. Next comes the data scientist, which based on the findings or the core initial level of pre-processing done by data analyst, analyze the data and do some statistical modeling over that. And after that, generally data scientists apply some basic machine learning algorithms. Basic means very basic. Okay, it doesn't mean that you'll be doing some advanced machine learning or some hyperparameter tuning. Not like that, because mostly what happens, people think that if we get any business problem, we need to apply some advanced machine learning algorithms, some more powerful machine learning algorithms, and the problem will be resolved soon. But not, that's not the case in real terms, right? In real world, it is not the case. Because whenever we get the problem, we need to first understand our business requirements. And most of the time it happens that we don't need AI. Even such incident happens to me. Like around maybe out of 10 projects, I got around 5 to 6 projects in which there is no use of AI, only simple programming, and the requirements will be met. So that thing we need to understand, that whatever the business problems we are getting, whether we can apply AI into it or not, whether it will facilitate or whether it will not solve any purpose.